when I was growing up as a kid, guys were never taught how to be sad or how to express how they were. They were never taught how to express being upset properly. And a great example of this was, when I was on my swim team, I was young. I was like 10, 11. And the other older guys that I looked up to for like inspiration and, just for guidance, like in the world of sport, they would have a bad race, or they would not be happy with something in practice, or something wasn't going their way that day. And they would punch the lockers and they would cuss people out and they'd bang their head on the wall. Like, they were very aggressive people. Wow. And so I'm in the change room with all of this, right? And that's normal. Like, that's just the culture that I grew up in. And so I was like, oh, I get it. Because I had been searching for so long on how to express myself. And this is the accepted way of expressing yourself when you're upset. I get it. That's what I'm going to do. And so that's just how I started expressing myself. So whenever I was upset, whenever I was angry, whenever, I wanted to cry, I'd punch lockers, bash my head on the wall, cuss people out. I was labeled a hothead because of this, right? And so that, in combination with me going, I'm not going to express myself anymore, it was like a recipe for disaster going forward. So throughout high school, after getting told so many times, like, you shouldn't feel this way, why are you feeling this way? I decided to put all my energy into my friends and family. I was like, as long as they're good, I'm good. I don't need to do the work up here. Like, I'm fine. I got it figured out. In high school, you think you have it figured out. Always. And you just never do.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm so mature.
I'm the smartest person I know.
Yeah. Well, no, literally. But so throughout high school, it was actually okay because I had a lot of distractions. In high school, you're still at home. You've got extracurriculars. Like, I was swimming, I was playing rugby, I was on a leadership board, I had school. Like, I had so many distractions to the point where I couldn't even sit down and do the self-work. Like, I couldn't, even if I wanted to, which was great. I thought it was the best thing. Yeah. So, I would have these outbursts at swim meets and things. So I was labeled the hothead still. But I never really opened up about anything, really. So people just no one really asked like how I was. It was just kind of like, oh, that's just him. Like, he's got an anger problem. And so, high school, I was okay with it. Well, I wasn't okay with it, but like, I was fine with that label as long as it meant I didn't have to tell people how I was really feeling. Yeah. I was like, if they're scared, I'd rather them scared of me than have them think I'm less of a person. So when I got to university, that was the first time I was kind of alone. And for most of us, it's kind of the first time you're alone. And I still had swimming, right? I was on the swim team at university, but there was a lot less distraction. And so that's when I first realized, I was like, there is a lot of stuff going on up here that I don't have the tools to deal with. Yeah. And so it was immediately overwhelming. And, to keep it short and sweet, like the first 3 years of university, I kept having these outbursts and I would have these panic attacks, and I would, break my water bottle on the side of the wall if I had a bad race, or I would cuss people out if I had a bad race. Like, it was getting bad. It was boiling over slowly. And, I tried to go to therapy 6 different times, and each therapist sucked. Like, straight up, I'm sorry. Like, they were just, we did not connect. And so I just assumed it was me. I just assumed, like, this is how I'm going to be forever. And it's just something that I'm going to have to live with. Like, I don't need help, because help is for crazy people. Mm-hmm. And so in my last year of university was kind of the tipping point. And a lot of this has to, like, I ended a long-term relationship in my 4th year. Well, I didn't end it, but it got ended for me.
It was ended for you.
It was ended for me. Oh. But basically that was, and this is a whole different conversation, but I used to find validation in other people. Mm. And so when I got broken up with, I really had to face myself. And I was like, I really do not like who I am. And it's been like, what, 12 years of accumulated stress, anger, self-deprecation, like so many things. And they finally just came out. And I was like, I should die. Like, that was the conclusion. And, I had tried a couple times prior, but it wasn't anything serious. And, the suicidal ideation, it was minor.